How you doing, Pat? How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm feeling excellent, blessed with Twisted Serenity. I hung out with Fred Flintstone, so it's yabba dabba do, baby. We
That's
about to get
awesome.
into it. How you doing, brothers? How you doing, sisters out there? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? We got a guest in the house tonight. We got a big dinner plate for her. Welcome. Come on in. It's dinner time, and we got some good soul food tonight, my brothers and sisters. Invite some of your friends, because it's family time. So we about to get to it shortly. But if you're here, if this is your first time, my name is Tony M. Toomer, and my guest,
Patricia Whiteside, the one and only.
the one and only. My brother and sister, we're going to talk about relationships this evening.
Yes.
And we focus on the relationship basically of that between a man and a woman that should be serious, that should commit, and should move to a covenant type of relationship. We're going to give a few more people an opportunity to get in, a few more circles, and then we're going to get into it. And by relationship, my brother and sister, we come from a biblical standpoint. When I say a biblical standpoint, we God created the man Adam first, and he created the woman Eve. And that's the perspective where we basically come from. Now, if you believe in any other type of relationship, my brother and sister, you have what is called a free will. You can do whatever you choose to do, but we focus more on the relationship between that of a man and a woman. And with that said, we about to bring this big meal out to the table, so you all pull up to the table. So that's right, it's about eating time. It's a good soul food tonight. And on the menu tonight, my brother and sister, is what do you do when you love someone, but that person doesn't love you? Again, what do you do when someone loves you, but that person doesn't love you? Now, my brother and sister, there is this young lady. Her name is Amy Perona, and I did some little research. And when I went to the dictionary, she said being in love. This is her explanation of being in love. And she got a pretty good explanation. She is quoted. I mean, she said, and I'm quoting, desiring the happiness of your partner, admiring them for the individual they are, and feeling motivated to be a better person. When you are in love, your relationship goes beyond the simple physical attraction. It is experiencing happiness at the idea of two individuals and an independent people choosing to share quote unquote time together. If you are in love, according to Amy, you are driven to be compassionate, generous, and caring to your special somebody. Now, there's another thing that's on the flip side of love, and it's called infatuation. Now, infatuation is an intense but short-lived passion or admiration for someone or something. Now, when it comes to love, let's go into Patricia head. Let's go. Pat, you at the dinner table. Then Pat, you at the dinner table.
I'm ready. I got my fork ready.
You got your fork ready. What do you think about the topic called love? What is your thoughts on love?
My thoughts upon love, I believe that it's different levels of love. Like you said, infatuation, that feeling good, feeling, oh, she makes me feel good, or he makes me feel good. That's just an emotional part of love. But all in all, the number one aspect of love to me is a mutual respect. People leave that out. You know, I believe that respect is the number one thing for love. For love. Because, and then in the Bible, it tells the woman that the woman should have respect for her husband. He didn't say love. Come on now. He said respect. And then he told the man to love his wife. Because he knew that some women, you know, we get in our little mood swings and stuff like that, and we want to run off at the mouth, because that's one of the main things God talks about in the book of Proverbs, a chattering wife. You know, that because that's disrespect to the husband. So it was a reason why God said that. So when I think about love, the primary thing I think about is respect.
That's interesting when you said respect, because Pat, most men, that genuine men, when it comes to a woman, most men take love as being respectful, because you all basically come
Yes.
from the emotional side and we come more from the analytical side. So men, we kind of like have the emotion secondary, and we look
Yes.
at it as if that woman gonna respect us. But when I say respect us, that woman supposed to be like, she represent us, especially publicly, but also on the inside, how she talks to us, how she nurture
Yes.
us, and how she encourage us. That's how we look at love from a male standpoint. Now on the we're gonna be going flip flop on this, okay?
It's all right with
So
me.
on the infatuation part, Pat,
Mm-hmm.
let's go back to the future.
Okay.
Okay, when it comes to infatuation, there's a big difference between infatuation and love. Have you ever been infatuated with a man, or with a young boy, some in your life?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes. When I think about the first man that I ever married. I was infatuated with his gifts, infatuated with how he made me feel. Not more so physically, as well as I'm looking at how he was a provider with the money. So that will make a woman think that you're in love, because sometimes we women fall in love with our emotions and not our brain, you know? And we think, oh, he's making me feel so good. Oh, oh my God, he's doing this and doing it. I'm just, ooh, like a little girl. Give me some candy. I want some more candy. But we end up getting messed up with our emotions, and we leave ourselves empty or drained because we fell in love with our emotions.
Let me tell you, Pat, my first thing about infatuation, okay? I'm gonna go way back into the future, and I know my mama and my sister looking at the broadcast, so
Don't get in
and they're
trouble.
gonna, yeah, they're gonna ask me about this after the broadcast. I already know they're gonna ask me about it. But when it comes to infatuation, Pat, I was infatuated with two of my mama's friends when I was a little boy, and I thought I was quote unquote in love. Right? There's this
Mm-hmm.
one particular lady that you people, you just, we're gonna get to the good stuff. You know, we're at the dinner table. We're gonna get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
But this is
We're the
this is
appetizer.
the appetizer. So anyway, this one particular friend of my mom's, I used to go to her house. Well, my mama might know who it is, but she better not say nothing. But anyway, this lady used to give me graham crackers and milk, and I thought I was in love with a little boy in love with a grown woman, right? Cause I was into older women, you know. But anyway, one day my uncle bust my little hard, Pat. You know what he did?
What'd he
He
do?
told me, he said, Tony, she married. And I said, no, she ain't married. So I had to ask her. So she took me over to her house, and I looked up at her like that, Pat, right?
Oh
And
my
she
goodness.
said, you want some ground cookies and milk? I did like this. No, I don't want any. And she said, she looked at me, she said, what's wrong with you? And I said, I just got one question. She said, what is it? I said, are you married? And she looked down and she started laughing, right? And I looked up, are you married? And she said, yeah. And I said, I quit you. I want to go home. But you see, and my mama had another little friend. Now, my mom then used to have entertainments and stuff, right? And she got this one particular friend. She was real short, right? And I used to like dance with that lady, but that was my little infatuation. But as I got older and older, I had some little infatuation with, you know, some senoritas, Pat, but it wasn't love.
Yes.
And I could tell you this, not only with the infatuation, I'm just going to be real and straight to the
Be
point.
real.
A lot of guys, and including me, it's another thing that goes beyond infatuation. And you know what that is, Pat? That's called lust.
Lust. Yes.
Lust,
Yes.
lust, lust. And as I was growing up, the younger boys, you know, the older guys, they would say, if y'all hear some lightning that run that way, that's what it means. I mean, some thunder.
I seen that. I thought it was a police siren.
That's God. But anyway,
Yes.
um, the older guys, they used to tell us stuff like this. And where I come from, I mean, let me tell you ladies something. A lot of guys, we experience this stuff. A lot of older guys, they try to push that stuff on us, right?
Yeah.
And like, it was like, they'll be saying, y'all little boys, y'all need to get it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's what we are taught. The young girls, they don't more like to talk, okay, don't let those little boys get to you, you know what I mean? Because you know what they want. But on the other side, we encourage to pursue that. But it was basically about lust. So coming up from the, you know, it was a little infatuation and it was a little lust. And a lot of guys right here today, Pat, most guys, instead of getting in a serious and committed and moving towards a covenant relationship, majority of the guys, even around our age and going beyond,
yes,
they still into a lust thing, because there are a lot of men, they don't see a woman as she got a spirit, she got a soul. They basically look at a woman, she got a body, and how she would be if she just lay down on her back. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So a lot of men experience lust. What do you think about that? When, tell me this, Pat, being a woman, and cause you are an attractive woman,
yes,
and like when you go to the store or whatever, and when a guy walk up to you, what normally be the first thing in your mind or other ladies' mind that you normally talk to when they approach you?
When I see a man and they're approaching me, I'm like, okay, what is he gonna say? Say something about your butt, your skin, or, you know, I'm like, what is he trying to say? You know, and then I may tell him in a nice way, well, you know, it's not like that. Thank you. Have a great day. Or, you know, however the conversation may begin to that ending. But I'm in agreement with you that a lot of men our age and on up, they're still wrestling with the lust issue. And I see that. And I'm like, how long are they going to deal with that? Or even with the women, you know? So I think about that. Why do you think that is, that men your age and or older wrestle with that? Like, because, majority.
Okay, majority, because to tell you the truth, Pat, when you look at it from a statistical standpoint,
yes,
a lot of men, they're afraid to get into marriage, because when you look at statistics, the statistics show that 7% of women, they file for a divorce.
Is that
7% of women, they file for a divorce, and a lot of guys, they look at it like the court system is against men, because if you go to the court, a lot of men think that we're going to get divorce raped.
Yes.
That's why a lot of guys are kind of like showing away, and they'll prefer just living with a woman or saying that's my girlfriend or whatever, instead of committing, because they think they're going to lose a whole bunch of assets. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, so, yep.
That's what a whole bunch of guys be thinking. But tell me this, Pat, back to when a man approach a woman, and in your mind, you thinking, okay, what he about to say, right?
Yes.
Okay, can a woman in a very short period of time kind of discern where a man coming from?
Yes, yes. I know I can, from how he approaches me and what what may come out of his mouth at that moment, where sometimes a man, they don't mean any harm. It's what they are used to doing and saying. And I believe that some men just don't know any better. They think that majority of women may want that, hey, baby, or stuff like that. You know, it doesn't mean that if a man calls you baby that they're being disrespectful. Because I know some women that if a man says, what's up, baby, or baby, why are you calling me baby? No, he doesn't. He's just trying to talk to you. So we have to just chill out with that just a little bit, you know? It doesn't mean that he's trying to disrespect you. But back to what you asked, a woman can discern what a man is trying to say once he approaches her. His body language, You know, if he's joking around like he's an OG pimp or something, you know, a woman knows, you know, oh, okay, I see he's like that, you know, and he may not even mean any harm.
Well, do you think that growing up as a woman, do you think on a subconscious level that some women, when they look at like Disney cartoons and, you know, and I always say like looking at things like Lifetime and reading romantic books, do you think some ladies, they, in their mind, they thinking that's what a relationship look like? It's like the man, okay, the man meet the woman, then they go
Yes.
through some little thing, and then and the man runs after the woman, and she try to like see what he gonna do, and then at the end she may say yes. Do you think a lot of women, they think that that's what love is?
Yes, because I used to think that way, like, oh, it's going to happen like the fairy tale. No, that woman's fairy tale may be totally different. And if we women allow ourselves to think like that's how it's going to happen, we can miss our opportunity of a plain Jane type of guy, you know, to where we're trying to pinpoint, well, he has to be like the Cinderella. He has to be like uh, the Queen and all these other Disney movies and Lifetime movies. No, our marriage is going to be totally different, and we can't tell. We can, you know, go to God and ask, well, God, I want my marriage to be like this, or we can't say, well, God, I want it to be like this. No, God has a whole nother way. So we women can allow ourselves to think it's got to be like Lifetime. That's TV. They can create a marriage so beautiful and that'll knock us on our feet. That's television. That's Hollywood. So we just have to be within ourselves and recognize, hey, you know, it may not turn out like that. And I may not meet my husband like that. They may not, the woman, she may not be the queen that she thinks she is to meet, you know, a nice gentleman. So we can't put ourselves in a fairy tale type of box. Yes, I believe that fairy tales come true. You know, whether you meet a truck driver, a doctor, or a simple janitor, you know, it's a fairy tale in anything, but we cannot box ourselves in as women and think, oh, it's going to be so beautiful and so, oh, this and that. No, we can't do that.
Well, do you think like when a man, when he approach a woman and he want to buy everything, because some men, they equate love with buying everything. Do you think a lot of women, they look at love as he get me everything I want?
Yes, I really believe that. And that isn't love. And a man, he may have learned that type of trait or action from seeing his dad please his wife. There's different forms and levels of love that we can look at. But that isn't all about love. A man could buy a woman everything and he's up there doing the same thing. I have heard of men being married. You know, one woman, she didn't even know after 6 months of being married that the man, he was going out of town, married to a whole nother woman in a whole nother city, taking care of her and everything. So, you know what I'm saying? So we can't look at, oh, he just loves me so much, but he's doing the same thing for Sally Sue over in another country. Mm-mm.
Okay, well, when it comes to a man loving a woman, what do you think is the defining expression of love that a man could project to a woman?
I believe one of the main things for myself, I don't know about majority of women, but I believe that some women, we would like to see consistency in you know, making sure that he means what he say what he means, that he's consistent. Not one day he wants to call and then I don't hear from him the next week or the next 4 or 5 days. You know, he starts off doing this maybe just to take a woman out or to maybe end up sleeping with her or just making it seem like he really loves her. But after he gets what he wants, a date, a bed, whatever, get into bed with her, he may change. So a man needs to be consistent in what he says.
Do you think that, let's go a scale between 0 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
When a woman has sex with a man,
Yes.
single, we're gonna talk about single. If a
Yes.
woman has sex with a man, out of the 10 women, how many you think will probably be misled that having sex with a man that equates love to her?
I believe probably 90%. The 2% will not. That's what I believe. Because if we look at the world, if we listen to, we get a group of 10 women in the room, you know, they had that same experience. I believe 90% and maybe only 10%.
Do you think that okay, let's say for example,
Mm-hmm.
the man, we talk about single, the man and the woman, they meet, right? And
Yes.
they start seeing one another, whatever. And he at the beginning, Pat, he say, look, I just want to see where it's gonna go. And I
Yes.
really don't want to give it no title on it. But then he give her the impression that without saying now, he didn't told her at the beginning, I just want to see where this go, right? But then he
Exactly.
started doing things. Do you think that confused a woman when he started doing things as if he really in a relationship with, but he already said that I just want to see where things go. And then she started playing the wifey role, and he clearly
Exactly.
told her at the beginning, what why do you think some women they equate that as love when he already told her at the beginning, with just let's see where this go?
Because sometimes for a woman, even myself, I experienced that because they think that, oh, he's doing all of this stuff for me. Maybe he'll change his mind. Oh, it's going somewhere. And they're trying to ignore the fact that he already said in the beginning, let's see where this goes, or I'm not really ready for a relationship. That they get what they really, really want confused with what he's doing, and it's not how it's going down to be. So they get confused. They really get
Okay,
confused.
okay, when they get confused, let's say that he's doing all of this and she started thinking, okay, it could be something else. And I'm gonna tell
Yes.
you a lot of time talking to some guys, this happened quite a bit, Pat. Okay, the man and woman, they could have a a, a five sexual section, right? Of,
Yes.
and then after they over with, he breathing hard. He like this. Woo, woo. And then she over there looking at him like this, Pat. She looking at him like this. She laying there with her covers up over here like this, and he laying there. Cause you know men, when men do stuff, they don't care what you see, what you see. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
he laying there, and he like this. Woo, girl, 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 girl. You got the best I ever had. At that point, Pat, if a woman ever hear a man say you got the best I ever
And
had,
he lying.
more than likely that's a lie. Because most women can, I've got to put it out there, most women can cause a man to pop off. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it just, the only difference is what that man think and feel about that woman. But majority of women can do it. So he laying there, whew, you got the best I ever had, girl. And then she laying there, Pat. Then all of a sudden she leaned over. She on her elbows, right?
Uh-huh.
And she looking down at him like this, Pat. And then he's still looking at the ceiling, cause he in La La Land. So she like this, Pat. Is this all you want from me, Pat? It's a lot of brothers that told me that conversation. Is that all you want from me?
What?
Here's another thing, Pat. Are you using me, Pat? He said at the beginning
Come on
that
now.
I just want to see where it's going.
That's it.
Why,
That's
why
it.
do some women do that, Pat?
Because you know what? They're silly. I used to be silly too, and we had to come up out of there because we women want to be loved so much. We want a good man so much to where we'll try to go along with the flow. And then after the flow stops, like what just happened, we want to get upset because it is what it is. The man had already told us in the beginning, hey, let's see where this goes, you know. So we have to leave what we really desire and put it aside. Either go with the flow or get out. That's what we women need to do. And if not, that is how majority of women still get hurt, caught up. I love him. I know a female right now She's been with this man for 16 years. He's married. And I'm like, hey, you need to come out of this. What's going on? You know what? It's the sex. And she be fighting with the wife. I'm like, look, my hands are off. Once I try to help somebody and give them some information, Tony, and I see that I may give them 1, 2, 3 times to really see if they really need help, I'll wash my hands clean. You continue to deal with that. And guess what? Keep on doing what you're doing. Don't call me when he done gave you a black eye. He done left you walking. And no, that's a woman that is stuck. And if we continue on like 16 years or even a couple months to a year, Tony, that's what a stronghold, a soul tie. She's in a hardcore soul tie to where the sex has got her so trapped she don't want to let go. But he love me, but he's hitting you in the eye. He love me, but he done left you high and dry, walking for miles. No, that's called a silly woman.
But I'm gonna tell you this, Pat, and I have said it before. Some of the brothers and sisters on here that look and they know I have said it before, and we at the dinner table again.
Yes.
I have always said, but I had to come to maturity what I'm about to say. Okay.
Yes.
We men, we know, Pat, and you ladies out there, we know if you are wife material to us. We know in a very short period of time, when we start dialoguing, we put you, and I always say this, we put you in 3 sections. That is temporary.
My goodness.
Temporary, long-term, or permanent. Temporary means I will kick it every now and then. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it ain't finna be nothing there. Temporary, long-term, I might say that I'm serious with you. I might say that we are in a committed relationship, but I'm not going to marry you.
Come on now.
And if you start talking, I might just go by you what you think is an engagement ring.
Yes.
And I go get the engagement ring, and then I put it on your finger, but I have no intent of marrying you. It's called the classic shut up ring. So
oh my God,
that's it, the shut up ring. So she want to go tell her family friend, ooh, and then she get on Facebook. Then she get on Facebook doing all this. You know, you just see those pictures on Facebook and stuff. You just see the hand, right? Yeah. You see the hand. Beyonce.
Girl.
Yeah, Beyonce. But anyway, that's what I'm gonna start calling the Beyonce.
The Beyonce, I like that.
Yeah, put a ring on it. Oh. Yeah, but anyway. And then, Pat, time goes on, right?
Yes.
No date at all. And he's stringing her along for years and years and years. And people start asking her, when you wedding today? We're gonna try to do it next year. Okay, when next year comes, well, we need to save some money to get a house, and then next year come, and on. And she still got that shut up ring on her finger, right?
The shut up ring.
The shut up ring. That's it. A whole bunch of women walk around here with the shut up ring.
That's true, they are.
And like I said, we know whether we really want to get serious.
Yes.
We know when we're gonna commit, because when we commit, I'm telling you, Pat, when a man, especially if he fall after Christ, he would go ahead and let that woman know his intentions.
Come on now. Yes.
He would let the woman know his intentions. He would say something like, look, I would like you to be my wife. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then he would tell her some of his plans that he would like for her to be a part of. He will not approach that woman with this mentality of me, myself, and I. He'll be saying stuff, we should do this. This is ours, and this we. That's what she will hear him say. We, us, and ours, instead of saying me, myself, and I. So when a real man really see a woman as his wife, he gets serious, he verbally puts it out there. He does not let her assume where he's coming from. So she wants to, so she knows. And when she knows, then he going to talk about a date when we're going to do this.
Come on now.
A man, he will go ahead and say when we're going to do this, because any man that Just say, I want to be serious. I want to commit with you, but you stay over your place. I give you a key to my place. I have a key to your place, but I'm not going to marry you. You know what I
Ooh,
mean? I will
yes.
live with you, and you can
Yes.
live with me, but I'm not going to marry you. You know, a lot of men ain't gonna say that. They'll just in their mind.
Know that.
But you know, but the tricky thing about that, Pat, is you know why buy the cow when you can get the milk free?
Exactly. It happens every day.
Why do I have to go to Kroger to get some milk when the cow is right? You know what I
There.
mean?
That's right.
So some women they get into this kind of stuff, and the man they could have a big argument or whatever. The man, her part. The next thing you know, he married to somebody else. He been with her 20
I
years.
was just about to
But
ask you about
he
yes.
married her what appears to be 2 weeks, but he already know about that other woman. You know what I mean?
My goodness.
So and then the lady that he been with that's wearing the shut up ring,
For
and he been with her
1,000
all
years.
the time. She want to get mad and she want to talk about the man, but you allow that to do. Quite Pat, why some women don't want to take the responsibility that they willfully participate in that type of activity?
You know why? Because I think they're embarrassed. They're totally embarrassed, and they knew from the get-go that they shouldn't have done that. So I believe that women don't want to own up to what they did because of embarrassment and shame. That's what I really feel and believe, that they're so embarrassed and they're ashamed to admit it. To not just but their best girlfriend. Even the best girlfriend told her, girl, he ain't gonna marry you. You've been waiting 2 or 3 years and you still ain't even got a date for the ring yet.
Amen.
She didn't listen, so she feels embarrassed and shame-faced.
Okay, now the topic: what to do when you love someone but that person doesn't love you? Pat, in your life, you ain't got to call no names or nothing.
Of
Have
course.
you ever been in love with someone, but that man didn't love you?
Oh my God, I was. I was the man that I was married to. That's my wisdom. I said my son's name was his dad. I'm sorry, wisdom. But anyway, when I mean I loved his dad, the man, when we were married, I loved him. I left my 5-bedroom house that I was already set up in, for a much bigger home, and it didn't work, but I loved his dirty draws. I really loved him, and he was a very good provider, but the more so I got into it, he wasn't in love with me. See, a man can cover you, shower you, and everything, but that doesn't mean that it's love at all. And if it was, we would still be together this day, But I went through that before. I went through that transition, and it was so hurtful. And guess what? In the beginning, you may see some little signs, but if a woman's mind is marred or smeared by all this, she's not going to see in actuality what she needs to see to say, I can't let this happen. It shouldn't be. So we women do allow ourselves to get marred by the big fancy this, the big fancy that, thinking that it's love. Oh, he accepted me with my kids and all this other stuff, but really that wasn't love at all. Love is a mutual understanding, and it's not cheating, infidelity. And that's why we're not together, because of the infidelity.
Okay, the red flag that you see, did you see the red flag earlier or during the marriage?
Yes, I seen the red flag, and I'm just gonna spill the beans. When I used to be that silly lady, before the we got in, it was a woman that he was with for 5 years. They didn't get along so well. 5 years, and I'm not the type of woman. I'm not gonna be trying to wait long and give up the milk for free. Now that I'm in my mature state and the position that I am spiritually, so. So when I look back on at that point, Tony, comparing to the woman that was with him for 5 years. And yes, I messed up. We slept around before we got married and everything, but he wanted to keep going and going. And I'm like, I'm not gonna keep on with the wifey privileges and all this stuff, if you think that I'm going to be in the boat for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 1,000 years, it's not going to happen. So I gave him an ultimatum, and once I left, he gave me a date and everything, but it still didn't work out. And that was my mistake. I should have left it alone then and there, because we women, we don't have no business pressuring a man to marry us. Like,
so, Pat,
come on now.
So I got a question for you, Pat. So when you was giving him the
wifey privileges,
the wifey privileges, did you like call yourself pulling back? Is that what you did? You said, okay, did you do your own like this? Say,
yes,
hey,
I did. You need to give me an ultimatum, buddy.
You're not getting no more of this until we get married. Did you get to that point, Pat?
Yeah, because I seen he really wasn't ready. He was it was straddling along. He wasn't ready for marriage like that. But I wanted the benefits, this and that, but that's not how it works in reality.
Well, Pat, do you think that most people that get married, we're gonna talk about United States of America. That's all we can really talk about. Do you think most men and women that get married, do you think majority of them, let's say on a scale between 0 and 10, 10 being the highest, how many of those couples you think have sex before they get married?
I would say dang near all of them. Maybe majority, maybe 1% don't.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, Tony.
I agree.
Come on, only 1%. Come on now.
I agree with you. Most people that get married, they already then discovered one another.
The box.
That way. Yeah, the box. Yeah. Let me tell you from a man's standpoint, Pat. I have been burnt in my heart one time in my life. You see, what a lot of women do not know is that, okay, women look at men like, okay, they ain't got no feelings and stuff like that. Danielle said 10. Brenda said nobody wanted a surprise on the wedding date. But anyway, it was one relationship that I really got hurt. I ain't gonna use the word burn. I got really hurt because I was really, really in love with this particular woman.
Yes.
And we had some different outlooks on things. And it came to the point where I could see it was about to end. I could see it was about to end.
My goodness.
And when I seen that it was about to end, we did the counseling and all that kind of stuff, right? But
were you married to her? You said counseling. Were you married or just in a relationship?
No, we were in a bona fide relationship. We were okay. You see, why you want to do me like this? We were married, okay? All right. Now you know, Pat. Now you know.
Let your hair down, Tony.
Don't tell nobody what I just told you. But anyway, that particular relationship, that's the only hurt, real deep hurt that I have ever experienced. Now, I have dated other women and stuff like that, but that's the only real hurt that I have experienced. The reason why it really hurt me was for 2 reasons. For one reason, I thought I was the all day in a bag of chips. Nobody, you know.
Yeah, like y'all men think.
If I was on happy days, I would be the fun. Yeah. But you see, that's what I was thinking. But then another thing too, what happened? I did not have Jesus on a pedestal.
Yes.
I had a woman on a pedestal. And that was the crucial, that was the real thing when I didn't have Jesus at the top of my life. You know what I mean?
That's
so when
powerful.
I didn't have Jesus at the top of my life, that's why it hurt so much, you know, and I didn't realize that until years go by. So when it comes to being in love in a relationship, a man and a woman should have a relationship with God through his son Jesus first before a
Yes.
man invests in a woman and a woman invests in a man. That man
That's
has to
right.
learn love from God. That woman has to love from God. And cause God knows the man and the woman. So God has to teach, guide, and show the man and the woman how to love the other person, because no man come into this world with a manual of how to love a
Come
woman.
on.
No
It is in the
woman
book.
comes
Come on.
into the world knowing how to love a man. Most of the time, men and women, we go by what we see and what we hear, what love is. But
Exactly.
excuse me, but that's
You're
not
right.
love.
Mm-mm.
That's not love. The only love, because a lot of men don't teach their sons how to love a woman.
That's true. That's true,
A
Tom.
lot of women don't teach their daughter. Let me read it to you, Pat, right quick.
I want to
And the
hear
rest
it.
of you all. Okay. It has in Ephesians 5:25, it says, husband, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Now, when Paul wrote this, when Paul wrote this, he was trying to show men not limiting your relationship to a girlfriend, not
Yes.
limiting your relationship to someone that live with you.
That was
Paul was
good.
talking about husband and a wife, and he said the model is how Christ loved the church and gave himself up
Yes.
for it. Now the key thing is, how did Christ love the church?
Come on.
Jesus, he came and he gave it all. He gave up himself for the church. Even though the church, which are called out people, did wrong, sin, he took it,
Yes.
he died, and he covered everybody. So a man's supposed to duplicate what Christ did for the church. A man's supposed to love his wife
Come
to the
on.
point
That's
whereas he loved her, he got to love her unconditionally. He needs to, and that means don't keep scores. You know what I mean? Just like
exactly.
Jesus don't keep scores on us when he saved us, because his blood cover us. So a
My
man don't supposed to
goodness.
keep all these scores on a woman. You hope that she don't do a whole bunch of things, but he don't. He's supposed to be mature. He's supposed to look at her from Christ's position. And then it said, and he gave himself up for her. What does that mean? Jesus died for us all, the church, right?
Yes.
The church is
Yes.
like the female, the wife, right? So if a man really love a woman, he would be willing to cover her, love her unconditionally,
Yes.
protect and provide, and if necessary, he should be willing to lay his life down for her.
My
Now, in
God.
this other part, you see, it telling the husband to love your wife. Peter also made a statement about husband loving their wife. Now, in Titus 2, that chapter 2, verse 3 through 5, check this out. It said,
Uh-huh.
likewise, teach the older women to be reverenced in the way they live,
Come on.
not to be slanderers
Uh-oh.
or addicted to much wine,
Mm.
but to teach what is good. Then they can urge the younger women to love their
Their husbands.
husbands
Come on
and
now.
children,
Oh my
to
God.
be self-controlled, pure, to be busy at home, to be kind, to be subject. That's a
There it
big word.
is.
To be subject
You're
to
what
their
you like
husband.
that word, don't you?
Yes, I do. To be subject to your husband. Cause like, let me tell you, when Cinderella called me and something, you know what I say, Pat?
What?
Come before me. But anyway, and so they so no one will manner the word of God or manipulate the word of God. But you see, the thing
My
about it
God,
said,
that's good.
it said older women. So it said the older women to teach the younger women to
How to
love
love their
their
husbands.
children, their husbands,
That's right.
And that showed that when you come into the world, there's no blueprint in how to love. You know what I mean? You have
Yes.
to be taught how to
Yes.
love someone.
Yes.
Brenda says subject and not, what is it? Certitude. Okay. Now the woman don't supposed to be no slave. Okay, she don't supposed to be
Of
no
course
slave.
not.
Let me talk about a little about being in a submission role. In order for a woman to submit to a man,
Yes.
the man has to submit to Christ.
That's true.
No man should want a woman to submit to him unless he submit to Christ. Now, worldly men, they like to say, I'm the man. You do what I say. And then they'll use the thing, the Bible say you supposed to do what I do. And if the woman wild enough, she said, okay, the Bible say that. Yeah, the Bible say that. Okay, you show me where. It's in there somewhere. But it's in there somewhere. But you see, some men, they use that thing to cause the woman to think that she's a slave, but the
To
woman is not
manipulate her.
a slave. Yeah, manipulate. So a man, in order for a man to look for a woman to submit to him, he has to submit to Christ.
Yes.
A lot of women, they get themselves mixed up with men that aren't in Christ anyway. A lot of women, they could be following Christ and they want the man to be right. You cannot change a man.
You cannot.
You cannot change a man. And if you mess up and you're a Christian woman and you get married to a man because you think he's going to change,
come on,
you messed up. Because now you got to look at that man, even though you don't want to be in a submission role to him, you got to. Because he's your husband and you got to do it. You know what I mean?
That's
you got
true.
To do
That's
it.
true.
And it's what you think about those things.
In regard to the woman submitting, I'm in agreement that he needs to give her something to submit to, because the Bible says, and respect your husband, or submit to your husband as unto the Lord. Is he submitting as unto the Lord? Because I've heard someone, well, my husband don't want me to go to church. He wants me to go over here to the bar with him. This is some true stuff. He wants me to go over here. He wants me to do this and that. Well, that's not being obedient unto God. A woman has to rightly divide. And if that man is not in his rightful place, steering his family down the wrong road, then she should be going a whole nother different direction, called up to God. If she's a Christian, you know, if she's a really sold out Christian woman, she's going to listen and hear to the Bible and not try to allow her husband to take her a whole nother direction. If she does, then she's kind of weaken her strength. And guess what, Tony? It has nothing to do with the woman being a Christian woman. You have some women out there that they don't believe in God, or they may believe in another God or whatever entity they believe in, but they're not going to allow the man to take them down from what they believe is right to do.
Also, when I go to 1 Peter chapter 3:6, it states, let me see. Let me go 1 Peter 3:5. It said, for this is the way the holy women of the past who put their hopes in God, that's what they did first, and used to adorn themselves, they submit themselves to their own husbands.
Yes.
And then it say, like Sarah, who obeyed Abraham and called him her Lord. Wait a minute. Like Sarah, who obeyed Abraham and called him her Lord.
Yes.
Now, how many of you sisters would call your husband Lord? I'm going to see what that work on Cinderella. I'm going to say, hey, you got to start calling me Lord. The small L, the small O, and the RD. You know what I mean?
You know that means authority. That means authority. He has authority over her. That's what that means. Yes, my Lord. Yes, my Lord. Yes, me Lord.
The small LORD.
Exactly.
But the man, he has to be in a position to, you see, it starts with Christ first, but then when they get on the human thing,
yes,
a man's supposed to love the woman as Christ loved the church. and the church is supposed to reverence. So when it go back to this topic, what do you do when you love someone but that person doesn't love you? Pat, what do you think? What would you tell these sisters what to do if they are in a position where they really love this man, but he doesn't love her? What do you need to tell these sisters that listening? Because some of them is in this position.
Well, it depends upon if they're married. Now, if they're married, I would tell them you need to seek out counseling. And then depending upon if the husband is sleeping around and being abusive, she needs to walk away. The Bible does say if the unbelieving person does not believe like you can leave them for a season. Now that's biblical. We have an opportunity to walk away. But if she's single and in a relationship and that man doesn't love her and she's done wasted even a year, that's just too much time. 6 months, Tony, is a waste of my time. If I'm with the man and he's showing me he don't love me, no. Now at my maturity that I am, I'm not gonna even give it no 1 month if I see a sign after the first day. Now, no, I'm not gonna allow myself to get caught back up in that up and down roller coaster of emotional. You know what I'm talking about? I wouldn't do that. So I would tell any woman that's experiencing that right now, that man doesn't love her, but he's giving her the benefits. She needs to analyze, does she want to waste another month of her time? What is going on? They need to go seek some counseling. You need to go talk to your minister. If they don't go to church, you need to talk to somebody to see and come out of that relationship.
Well, how does she know that the man doesn't love her? What sign do she need to be able to see that he doesn't love her so it could get in her head?
Tony, if she sees a sign that that man doesn't love her, if he's done stopped cold turkey. You have some men that they may not think that they love them because he's not affectionate. That doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. He doesn't know how to be affectionate. But she needs to analyze the reason why he doesn't love me. Why does a woman feel like he doesn't love her? Is it because he's not touching her anymore, taking her out, talking to her sweet? Is he staying gone all night, caught him up in lies or pornography? You know, she needs to analyze what is causing him to make her feel like he doesn't love her. They need to talk about it.
So does she go by her feeling or her mind? Which does she go by?
She needs to go by her mind, because feelings, one day you can feel like, oh, I don't want to touch you. One day, the next one, I want to have you every 5 minutes. So, you know, we need to, analyze that. We cannot go by our feelings. Even the Bible says, faith is not a feeling. Yeah, it's annoying. So we have to analyze that. Is she dealing with some self-esteem issues, or is she sick in her body, or what's going on to make her feel that way? So we women know we should not go by our feelings, because feelings will trick us.
Well, do you think some ladies, they have what is called this daddy thing? What's going on? They miss their daddy, and they didn't have a good relationship with their daddy, but they looking for a daddy in a man to love them.
That's true.
Daddy.
Yeah, I really do believe that, because when I was, and this is real talk, right? I lost my virginity at a very young age. And it happened when my parents got a divorce. My daddy was a very good man. He took us scanning. He took us tennis. He had picnics with us. He spoiled us. He taught me what to look for as that I'm grown now, how a man should treat us, And once they divorced, Tony, oh my God, I tried to seek for love in the wrong place, wanting a daddy to hold me, getting in relationships with the wrong men, because I was looking for a father to cover me, to treat me with respect. But I couldn't get it in these men because I was emotionally hurt and drained from that situation. So yes.
Well, when did you discover that it was a daddy issue thing? Did many years have to go by?
Yes, it happened. I believe it happened when I was in my late 30s. And some women, it happens in their late 40s or 50s, yes. Because we become so mature to where we realize this is not what we want. And guess what? It comes from reading self-help books about relationships. If you have a pastor, if you had to go through counseling, it could be your best friend you met, or another man to tell you, hey, what's going on with you? Why are you sleeping around like this? What is something that you have internalized that has affected your decisions to embark upon a healthy relationship? So yes, it does affect us women.
But let me tell you this, Pat, from a man's standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to loving a woman, it's like
Peanut butter and jelly.
I wish it was that simple, but you know, let me tell you something. When it comes to loving a woman, believe it or not, men can love hard. Men can love hard if he look at that woman and he know that she's gonna mess up sometime. You know what I mean? She's gonna mess up sometime. But you see, what some women don't realize is basically a lot. It come to respect. What do I mean by that? How the woman talk to the man. You know what I mean? How she talk to him. If she talk to the man like he's a little boy, if she talk to him, he try to convince her that, look, I love you, and she can't. No, you don't love me. You don't love me. You see all that kind of stuff. So you saying I don't. If you say I don't love you, you know I don't. You know that's you.
Absolutely.
But you see, some women they think they equate a man love to them is how they view a man should love them. Cause men don't come to a woman from an emotional point of view. You know what I mean? Men come to a woman from an analytical part and the emotion follow. But when a man continue to hear a woman say, you don't love me, you ain't never do nothing for me and all that kind of stuff. You know what? Since she said that, she's going to bring it to fruition, right? So if you say I don't love you, I'm not going to show you no more. Because I'm not going to put no effort to try to convince you that I love you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm not gonna, I just won't do it. When I say I'm talking about for men in general. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You keep saying it. You talk to me in a disrespectful way. You tell and you talk, you so negative. You know what I mean? You so negative. If a man, because see a man, first of all, he need a purpose in his life, right?
Yes.
And that purpose comes first from that man following Christ.
Yeah.
Even if a man following Christ, he going to fall on his face sometimes.
Yes.
He's going to fall on his face sometimes. That's what some women know. You're not getting in a relationship with a perfect man. He coming with issues just like the woman come with issues.
There is
right?
No perfect man. Come on now, or woman.
Yeah, and then you see, it's some women. They don't know what a good man look like. You know why they don't know what a good man look like? Because they've been dealing with, as TLC used to say, scrubs. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what they've been dealing with. So when a man, they don't know what a good man is. You know, they really don't know. They used to, a lot of women accustomed to abuse. They're accustomed to mental and emotional abuse.
Traumatized. Oh my God.
They traumatized. And there's some women, they think, Pat, I ain't lying about this. I know this woman. She said, she asked me this. She said, have you ever had any, how did she say it? Makeup. Have you ever had any makeup sex before? I said, what is makeup sex? And she said, it's like, and she was all into it. She said, it's just like when you get a fight with, and she was all dramatic. She said, when you fight, you know, and she was, when you fight, and then when you fight, and then when you do it, it's so much passion. And I said, huh? Pat, I couldn't do nothing with no woman after, you know, you fight and stuff like that.
That's what,
you know what I mean? How can I, now there's some guys, they like that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But how can I do this? You crazy, you know what I mean? But she said it's a lot of ladies like that. They think that
That's love.
If they
Oh my
have quote
God.
unquote passionate sex after an argument, that's good. But that's dysfunctional. You know what I mean? It's very
Dysfunctional passion.
dysfunctional passion. You're right. But going back to what I said, when a man really loves a woman, you see what a lot, and this is what a lot of, I'm gonna tell you about what the boys club talk about, right? The boys
Uh-huh.
club. The boys club say this, majority, a lot of them, they say, this is the attitude out there. All they want is money.
What?
All they want is money. How much money? Because you see, the first time when you see when God talk, what does she want to know? What does she want to know? Okay, the first thing, you know what most women ask you? Pat, what do you do?
I
Not
know.
not anything about who you are. What do you do? What does that word imply?
That's a hidden motive right there to me.
Yeah, the hidden motive.
Trying to size you up.
Yeah, trying to size your pockets, that is. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But you know, I'm known as being Mr. Stingy. You know what I mean? I'm known for that. You know why I'm known for being Mr. Stingy? Because I understand. Let's talk, Pat. I
Talk about
understand
it.
this. I'm going to talk about it. If a man is not married to a woman and she's not married to a man, he's not obligated to her as a wife, and she's not obligated. He's not
Absolutely.
obligated to her as a husband, and she's not obligated as a wife, right?
That's true.
Now, when you're in the dating part, how you doing, Brother Moses? When you're into the dating part, the only thing you're supposed to do when you're dating, you're supposed to see whether or not you and that person probably have a future together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, you got to see whether you're going to have a future together. Cause like I always say, and this is my thing, Pat, when it comes to interviews and stuff, all the man have to do is do this, and I call it forms. Some of these people know what forms are. You see, forms, Pat, is FORMS. You know what? FORMS. That's easy. So when a man talking to a woman, he could just slide into a smooth conversation. He could just about send back, start asking her about what she view about, what your thoughts are on family, right? That's F, right?
Yep.
He get that. Okay. Occupation. And he could tell her a little thing about his career and want to know what she got going on too, right? That's occupation, right? Because guess what? She's supposed to be what? His helpmeet.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because some women, let me pause here. Some women, this is no attack on the sister, especially you, Pat, I love you. Some women, they think that they come into the relationship with this attitude. He gonna take care of me.
Yes.
He gonna take care of me. But they forget this part where God said to Eve, God put it like this. He created Eve to be the man what?
Helpmeet.
Bingo. They forget that part. Eve was not in the Garden of Eden, Pat. She didn't have no fowls like this sitting in the wood.
Yes. She
Adam,
helped him till the land.
She helped him. That's what helped me. That's what some women don't get. You know what I mean? They don't get it. They're not saying that the man looking for the woman to come in and take care of everything, because every man or woman has a role. But back to my conversation, talking to a senorita. Okay, you talk away with family, occupation, then you slide into religion. He get her thoughts on what she think about God and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So you get her thoughts on God. Now you got to see, are you equally yoked?
Yes.
You ain't got to say you got to see, are you equally yoked? Because that's very important.
Yes.
And then here go another part, Pat. You move into the M. What is M? Money. Don't you all know that money is one of the top divorce issues? People get more divorced for money issues than they do for adultery. You know
My
what I mean?
goodness, I believe it.
So you got to see by the money.
Yes.
Okay, you know, you get her idea on money. You know, did you used to look at Green Acres, Pat?
Green Acres down on the
It's a
farm.
place to be for living.
Yes, I love that movie.
But let me tell you about Green Acres. This go into when I'm talking about the money. If you notice the characters, Lisa and Oliver, right?
Uh-huh.
Lisa came from New York per se, right? Lisa was very materialistic, right?
Yes.
Oliver, he was not. He was laid back, right? So when Oliver and Lisa got together, he got someone that really don't mind spurging, right? But
Yes.
he was reserved. Why did I say that? This is why I say that. If you get into a relationship with someone and they got a vast difference on money, if you got somebody that like to blow money and
Yes.
someone like to save money, you're going to have a problem with that person. You know what I mean?
Unbalanced,
You're gonna
yes.
and then there's what some people they have a big problem with. You need to talk about the S. Okay, we done cover family, we done cover occupation, religion, money, and sex. You get into a conversation, you know, what you think about sex? Did you bring me out here? You think I'm gonna give you some? I ain't talking about that. You know what I mean? But you see, Pat, you know what? Those 5 things that I just listed,
That's
family,
powerful.
occupation, religion, money, and sex, these are 5 main things that happen in a relationship. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So when it comes to the sexual part, you know, because let's be real, because most people that had sex before, oh, can we say fornicate?
Yeah.
What should we say, Pat? Fornicate or sex? Which one?
Keep it real.
Fornicate. So the man that fornicated, and more than likely the woman fornicated, right?
Yes.
So you talk to her, she got some experience, he got some experience. Okay. What do you what do you like about it? Because you see, you both, I think Brenda, she put up there, Brenda made a comment about, I guess, tried or whatever. But anyway,
Brenda.
What do you think about it? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because you don't want to get into no marriage, because a lot of times, and Pat, you know I do this consultation, right? I do this consultation, and believe it or not, you know what the main issue will between men and women? Because most of my clientele are women.
Yeah.
I got a few men, but women. You know what the biggest thing? Sex.
Yes.
And you know what the biggest thing? Sex is they ain't getting it, Pat. And
That's
they
a shame.
are married. Yeah, women are married and they ain't getting it. They be coming up with reasons. They be telling me different things about the sexual thing with their husband stuff. But most women that talk to me, Pat, they assume that the man is impotent physically, right? But what they don't understand, Pat, is that he might not be impotent physically. He could have something against you. You know what I mean?
Or something, yeah, her mouth.
Because, yeah. And she doing stuff. Some women don't understand that, because a lot of them that talk to me, they, you know, I try to be balanced and stuff, because if the man out there, I don't hear his side. Or the woman, if I listen to a man, I don't hear her side. So I try to be objective unless both of them come together.
Exactly.
But anyway, they would say stuff about he won't touch me, and why, Tony? Why he won't touch me? But you know, a lot of women that I talk to, Pat, these are attractive women. But you got to go beyond how they look. What's going on in that home? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
How does she treat him? How does she talk to him? That's what causes. It could be a mental thing against the woman. Because some men, and sister, I got to put this out there for you. If the man is not doing it with you, if you his wife, that man can go be with another woman and jump up for that other woman. You know why? True. Because he don't have no problem with that other woman. He have a problem with you. You know
That's
what I mean?
true. That is so
And a
true.
lot of women, I mean, Pat, it's so many. And some of them,
That's
Pat,
sad, Lord.
they are sitting on Reddit. They are very vulnerable. That's why I tell a lot of women that I talk to, I say, if they going through that kind of stuff, I said, don't be around no men because you vulnerable at this time and you don't know you vulnerable. You think you superwoman, but you're not vulnerable, Pat. Because if they get in a situation, they're gonna end up on their backs. And when they end up on their back with another man, they're gonna get what? More than likely soul tied,
It
right?
is, yes.
Because they've been starving for quote unquote affection, and the other man he laid down on her physical, right? And then she gets soul tied with this other guy that he content with. You got a husband. You just bring it to me, and let me
That's
tell you
true.
this, I always say. Some women that go talk to men that do not do counseling.
Mm-hmm.
These men are looking, they're going to get paid at the end. What a lot of women don't understand, these outside men, they do not want to listen to what they call crap.
Uh-oh.
They don't want, I'm telling you, sister, if y'all looking for comfort in the wrong places, these guys, it's all kinds of counsel. It's some that counsel for business, and then there's some that counsel for their personal business.
That's
So a
true.
lot of men, they will listen to women, and in their mind, I'm gonna this is what men don't tell these women. I'm gonna listen to all this crap you saying. I'm gonna pretend that you could cry on my
Oh
shoulder.
my
You
goodness.
could you could talk to me anytime you want, even anytime you want to talk. Just call me. I'm there for you. And she ended up over to his house,
Yep.
and he asked. Then he asked her, do you want anything to drink? You know what they're doing? Do you want anything to drink? What type of music do you like? And
Uh-oh, Tony.
do do you like do you like do you like Barry White? Do you like Teddy Pendergrass? Do you like this song by Teddy? Check this out. Close the door. Let me give you what you've been looking for.
Close the door.
That kind of stuff, yeah. And then she telling him stuff, and then Pat, then she started crying and tears running down her face, Pat. And then his name Rico. Rico going, that's what Flo told me. His name, Rico, hey Flo, I was just playing with you. But anyway, Rico washed the tears away, and then he hold her chin up, right?
Yep.
And they look in each other iPad. Look at my iPad. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Yeah. But Pat, you gotta look like you kind of sad. Yeah. Let me wipe those tears away, baby. And then they hold that. Okay. Pat. Then they reach over. They look in each other's eyes. Then they start kissing, right?
That's true.
And then she's saying, no, stop. She's saying stop, Pat. But
It
like R.
sounds like
Kelly
you
said,
talking about yourself.
I ain't gonna tell you that. But anyway, she thought like R. Kelly. What is that? Your mind is saying yes, but your
Your
body's saying
mind
something
told me no, but my body.
else. Yeah, from R. Kelly. So she's saying, no, stop. And the more she's saying stop, she relaxing, right, Pat? And he own her, right? He own her. And then he started funneling, and she started trying to resist. She ain't trying to put that much
She's
resistance,
not.
right? Because you know what, Pat? Most of the time they be on the fence anyway. If they go to the man's house,
Uh-oh.
a lot of time they done been to Victoria's Secret because they thinking about it could happen, right?
That's true. That's true.
Long as he don't say nothing stupid. If he don't say nothing stupid, it might be his quote unquote lucky night. So she come over there, she's smelling real good, and they kissing and everything. And then the next thing you know, she in his bedroom, or on the sofa, or on the floor, or wherever they at. They do the monkey dance, Pat. They do the monkey dance. They be swinging from everywhere. And then, and then after the monkey dance is over with, Pat, she gets up and cover herself like this and go to the bathroom, right? Then, Pat, she sits on the toilet and be looking around like this. You know what she doing, Pat? She just looking around because she just think about what she just did, right?
Exactly.
Then she wash off or whatever. She come out. She done put her lipstick and everything on. She don't want, that normally they don't want to sit around. They ready to go then, Pat. They ready to go. So after it's over, the man said, are you all right? Yeah, I'll be okay. You sure? Yes, I'll be all right. Call me when you get home. So Pat, she get in her car, right, Pat? And if she got a real girlfriend, you know what she gonna do, Pat? While she driving. Hello? Hey, Tom, what you been doing? I just went over to Rico's house. You talking about that guy that been trying to holler at you? Yeah, Rico. You talking about that fine Rico? Yeah. That got 6 figures in the bank. He got 6-pack stomach. He got that big house on here. Yes, Rico. What happened? Well, you know, John and I, we've been having problems. Girl, you should have left it. Girl, you could have been leaving that clown alone anyway. I told you you need. I've been trying to make the relationship work. What happened? Well, I went over there and I was talking to Rico. Tell me the good part. Get to the good part. Wait. What happened? He asked me, did I want to drink? He asked you, did you want to drink? Yes, I just had one glass, maybe 3. Okay, what happened? We started talking. And the next thing I knew, it happened. How was it? It was okay. I haven't been doing nothing in 2 years anyway. 2, 3 years. I haven't done anything.
Do y'all see Tony?
Then she get home with John, right? John is home, Pat. She come in to John. John looking at Monday Night Football, right? John is sitting up. She just looking at TV. She walked past John. She go in the shower. She just took a shower or took a bath at Rico's house. More than likely, she just washed off at Rico's house. So she at home now. She get in the shower. Let me see. She gonna do the now. She gonna get in the bathtub. She get in the bathtub, Pat, and she sit down in the bathtub, soaking, just thinking about what just happened, right? Then she washing herself. She just wash. She think her body dirty, but it's her mind because
It's
now
her
she
mind. Come on now.
She violated her mind, but she keep washing her body, but it's her mind, right?
Come on.
So if it's in her mind, she can't wash the other way. Only Jesus could wash the other way. So what happened? Her and John still don't have no problem. So it's gonna get easier for her to keep going over to Rico house, right?
Back and back. Come on.
Right, she's gonna keep going back to Rico house, back to Rico. And Rico said, I already know. Let me tell y'all what Rico be doing. Some of y'all women think that Rico wait for y'all to come see him. Wrong. Rico got some stuff going on. Rico ain't waiting for you to get to him. Rico will make room for you. But Rico, you're not the one.
Yes.
You're not the one. So she come to Rico. Rico said, I got to listen to this crap again, but I'm going to get my counseling payment put on her back. So then the woman gets sold. So she thinks she's in love. She thinks she's in love with Rico, but she ain't in love. She was vulnerable, and now she's soul tied to him.
Exactly.
Now she want to leave her husband. Rico don't want her. Rico don't want her. Hey, I was just here. You use me.
That's the medicine.
Yeah, yeah, that was her medicine. You use me. That's how it go a lot of times. But you see,
it is.
Some women, they need to understand that. But back to what I was talking about, sex. I was already talking about it. But anyway, a man and woman, they need to discuss those kind of things in a conversation, see where they stand at. See, are they common? You have to be what is called equally yoked.
Yes.
Some people think that some people say opposite attract. That's a bunch of crap. That's Paul Abdul saying opposite attract. Opposite don't attract. The only opposite is you're a man, she's a woman. But if both man and woman is under God and follow after Jesus, Jesus is going to synchronize that relationship, because that man will know his role, his responsibility, his duty. The woman will know her role, her responsibility and duties in the relationship too.
Exactly.
So what to do when you love someone but that person doesn't love you? And Pat, you made a valid statement. I had touched on this last night. I talked about when two Christians have a problem, they could separate, but that don't mean you're supposed to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes.
But you're supposed to come back together and reconcile. I said that for two Christians. But the part that you hit on, a believer and an unbeliever. You see, if a Christian and an unbeliever, if the unbeliever wants to leave, Paul said, let them go. Because a brother or sister is not under bondage in such a case. That's what a lot of people don't understand.
That's right.
Because a lot of people get that mixed up with the Old Testament when Jesus was talking to the Jews about divorce, right? And Jesus said that from the beginning it was not so. And then Jesus said, the reason why God allowed it is because the hardness of y'all heart. You know what I mean? The
hardening of the hearts. That's what he said.
But in the New Testament, it specifically talks about a Christian man, a Christian woman that's married, and it also talk about a Christian man or woman that's married to an unbeliever. If the unbeliever wants to leave, let him or her leave. Even if you love that person, let them go, because it's gonna take time. You're not gonna forget about no person just like that. You know what I mean?
You're not.
If you invested your heart into it, you're not going to forget. You got to count the cost and move forward. Because when I heard at that particular time, Pat, when I got up at night, I thought about it. When I woke up in the morning, I thought about it. When I was driving in my car, I thought about it. When I was at work, I thought about it. But it had to take time. You know what I mean? And then, as time go on, and you follow God, God is going to minimize that hurt and stuff. Then one day you're going to start saying, well, you didn't think about, I didn't think about her today. You know what I mean?
It's a process, yes.
It's a process. What do you have to say before we get out of here?
I want to say that was a very good topic. That was a very good topic. And I hope that the things that we said touch somebody's life to where they could take it and share it with somebody else if it's not themselves who are in the situation right now.
And you know what, Pat, I really I thank you, sister, for coming here, being on this live show. I really appreciate because you could have been having me on. You could have been doing something else. But I'm gonna tell you this. For those of you that will be at the dinner table tomorrow, this is the show, Pat. I didn't tell you about this, but this is the show for tomorrow, Pat. You and I talked about another show, but this particular show, I'm going to talk about what you think about this, Pat. And you, brother and sister, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to have for dinner tomorrow night. When he watched too much porn, and she get that rose, You done heard about that rose, Pat?
What's the rose?
The rose, R-O-S-E. I bet you some of these ladies know what a rose. You see, when he watched too much porn, you done heard of porn before, right? When he watched too much porn, that can affect a relationship. And
it can.
When he get that rose, you know what a rose is, Pat? I ain't talking about what you go out in the garden. You don't know what a rose is, Pat? Where you been at, Pat? Okay, let me tell you what a rose is. A
The
rose
toy, a
is
toy, sir?
yeah, it's a toy. It's a toy. A lot of women, they into this little rose stuff. They say that
I'm
it's
a Google it.
don't buy it though. But you see, because
I'm
some
not
women they
gonna
say,
buy it.
let me tell you what some women say about that rose. Some of these women that looking at me right now, they know about that rose. They said that this little device, it's a sexual toy, right? They say that you
Yes.
could turn this thing, and I'm not trying to get you, sister, to buy this thing. They said you could turn this thing up and it could make them, like that real quick.
That's
But you see,
sad.
yeah, but the thing about porn is that if a man look at too much porn, it can affect his relationship with a woman.
But you
If
know
a
what I
woman,
just thought about?
what?
What if the man is erectile deficiency? That's a good time to use the rose. You could look at it from that standpoint.
Well, yeah. If they are married, to keep her
Yes,
from
if they're
going,
married.
if
Yes.
they're married, to keep her from going out there. But you see the thing about playing with the rose pad, if a woman play with that rose too much, she might become addicted to that rose. And then when her husband touch her, he just
And you
ain't
know what else?
what
It
that.
could probably mess her up on the inside. Some of that
Yeah.
stuff causes problems, female problems that we don't have no business doing.
And when men watch too much porn, that can affect them too. Because
Psychologically,
yeah, psychological. But
to
I ain't
not
gonna
want
talk
their
too much.
wife.
Yeah, but I'm gonna talk about that
Oh
tomorrow.
no,
I just gave them a little. I just gave them a little sample what I'm gonna talk about tomorrow. But Pat, I really appreciate you, sister,
I
for
thank you for having
coming
me
in. I
on.
think I seen your mama. Is your mama on here tonight? Is your
Is
mama
she
on
on
here?
there?
I thought
Mary
I thought
Simpson?
no, well that's another Simpson. But I thought I seen your mom. But anyway, guess what, brothers and sisters? I hope that you all enjoyed the meal tonight.
Yes.
Sister Pat was in the house. Pat, you're gonna have to come back to dinner.
I will.
And you brothers and sisters, you all come back to dinner too. We're gonna have a good feast tomorrow. I hope that
Yes.
you all appreciate Pat coming to dinner tonight.
I appreciate
Because I
y'all.
did. We love you, brother. We love you, sister. Peace.